Bertolo.
Here, before we stand for the flag salute, I'd like to remain standing for a moment of silence for all our folks in the military who are serving away from their family this holiday season. Please stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the annual schedule of regular meetings heretofore adopted and posted on the public bulletin board at the municipal building, emailed to the Hawthorne Press, the Herald News, the Record, the Gazette, and all persons who have requested the mailing of such schedule and a copy of said schedule has remained on file in the office of the Borough Clerk from and since November 19, 2015. Approval of minutes. Approval of minutes for the regular meeting of December 7, 2016. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Made by Sinning, seconded by Bennett. Any discussion? Roll call.
Sinning.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertolo.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Public comment. I will now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, please raise your hand to be recognized. Come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. This is on agenda items only. Seeing no one, entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting. So moved. Made by Mealy, seconded by Matthews. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Adoption of ordinances. Readoption of water utility bond ordinance number 216916. Water utility capital bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of water meters, security cameras, security fence, well upgrades, shut-off valves, chlorine monitors, miscellaneous motors, pumps, drives, and equipment, and roofs at well houses and pump stations, all as set forth herein and by the Water Department of the Borough of Hawthorne in the County of Passaic, New Jersey, and appropriating $430,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of bonds or notes of the borough for financing the same. This ordinance was previously adopted on October 5th, 2016, but due to a procedural issue, requires a revote on final adoption. I therefore entertain a motion that this ordinance be readopted as of this day, and the clerk is authorized to advertise the same according to law. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Made by Bennett, seconded by Lane. Any discussion?
Eric, is this all the meters we have now? We have all of them?
No, this will not do everything for replace. This will get us through next year and probably into the following year.
Okay.
And we want to do one more check and see what the outcome is, to see whether we're still seeing the wide swings, and before we authorize the rest of the meters we'll need to complete the change out.
Okay.
Any other questions? Nope. Roll call.
Bennett.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Sinning.
Yes.
Wojciechowski. I'm sorry, Bertolo.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Old business. Gary, we'll start down your end.
I have nothing.
Frank?
Nothing.
Bruce?
No.
Dominic?
Nope.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Of course.
Eric, has been any resolution on 94 Arlington with regard to that sidewalk?
We did, well, we are looking at the concrete, because we discussed it last time. We had taken care of the road, and we are looking at having the concrete done to fix.
I understand the weather and everything, but I just want to make sure it's on the
Yeah.
schedule. Okay, thank you. And is there any update on there's more plywood now at 300 Lincoln Avenue. Is there any update from property maintenance with regard to what's happening
We've
there?
issued, I had a report here. We've issued warnings and summonses to them, and we will continue to follow up with them.
Okay, thank you. Also, I'd just like to make an update with regard to the new Public Works building that we're in the process of working with. Last year, this time, if you remember, we went out to bid, and the bids came back, they were over budget. So what the committee, we did was basically redesign the entire building with the assistance of Boswell Engineering, and I think we have a much better building now. I think it's a much more economical building for us, and hopefully, in talking to Dr. Boswell within the next month, we'll probably be ready to go out for bid again for the building, and hopefully the bids will come in with the budget that we adopted, and we will be able to hopefully break ground in the spring. And Eric, is there any update with the news article I gave you with regard to West Milford?
I've been a little delinquent on getting it taken care of, but we'll get the information so we know what's really out there,
All right, thank you.
grant-wise.
And that's all I have, John, under old.
Okay, new business, John, we'll stay with you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. No, I have nothing under new
Okay.
business.
Dominic?
Okay.
Bruce? Frank? Nope. Gary?
Nope.
Okay. Mayor, administrative agenda presented by Mayor Goldberg. You're up, Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. As this is the last meeting of the year, I want to take a moment to remember those employees, former employees, and people close to the borough who passed away in the last year, the last 12 months. May their memories be blessed, and we wish the families peace. The borough calendars are being mailed this week. As a matter of fact, I got mine today, so please be on the lookout for it. This year, the calendar includes a leaf schedule for next fall, so if you think they're late this year, you can find out how late they'll be.
Well, they get a
next
year head start, right?
Yeah. Resident and non-resident parking stickers are on sale weekdays from 9 to 4. Please see the website for details. The next late night is January 3rd, 2017, until 8 p.m. Or 7:30, I'm supposed to say, because otherwise at 7:59, 6 people show up. Delay that. Just a reminder, leaf pickup continues into the end of December. Any remaining leaves can be bagged and left at the curb to be picked up on your regular yard waste day, and yard debris pickup begins in April. I think that's confusing enough.
Yes, it is, yes.
I just wanted to bestow my best wishes for a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year to everyone, as we won't be gathering until the new year comes. Sometimes, and really not very often, someone exceeds what they do and what their career is. And we have one person with us tonight who served the borough and our children as a teacher and as a principal in our school system, but in addition served the community. So she affected the lives not only of our children, but of our community as well. And she is retiring at the end of this calendar year, so I want to take an opportunity to thank her on behalf of the borough. So, Roseanne, if you would come up with me. Got to turn on the microphone because this is important. I'm going to ask you to come over here because, as you remember, our television camera is there, so if everybody at home wants to see you, they can come. I have a mayor and council proclamation. It said, whereas Roseanne Zagata began her distinguished career as an education as a teacher in Hawthorne School District in 1987, will be retiring January 1st, 2017, after 29 and a half years in the borough of Hawthorne. I guess they wouldn't let you get 30 days on the pension or something. And whereas Ms. Zagata taught at Hawthorne High School and Lincoln Middle School, and thereafter in 2003 was the principal of Thomas Jefferson Elementary School. Whereas Ms. Zagata was awarded the Governor's Teachers Award for 1991-92. Whereas as principal of Thomas Jefferson Elementary School, the school was named a National Blue Ribbon School in 2011. And whereas during her tenure in Hawthorne School District, Roseanne Zagata was not only involved in our children's lives, but in the community's lives as well, promoting sustainability education in the Hawthorne school system K through 12, serving as the original member of the Hawthorne Environmental Committee since 1988, Hawthorne Environmental Commission since 1998, Vice Chair of the Hawthorne Environmental Commission since 2006, and she led the development and implementation of Celebration, which in 2017 will celebrate its 25th year. Whereas her dedication, positive attitude, passion, and enthusiasm in all she does is evidence that she is an outstanding educator and leader. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Hawthorne do hereby thank Roseanne Zagata for her many years of dedicated service to our borough and wish her a happy and healthy retirement. And be it further resolved that the mayor and council extend to Roseanne Zagata the very best wishes for continued success in all of her future endeavors. It's signed by me and the entire council, and this is for you.
Yes, do I want to say? I could never consider what I've done work, because when you have a passion for what you do, it's not work. There wasn't a morning I got up that I regretted getting up and going up the hill, or going to the high school, or going to middle school. My family is my family at Jefferson, and all of the Hawthorne students. I have students now that are students, are children of students that I had. And as one parent said to me, as quoted from Dr. Seuss, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. So I will continue to smile in my retirement because it all happened here at Hawthorne. So thank you.
Environmental Commission. Normally, Rita doesn't like to talk a lot.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, Roseanne, thank you so much for everything. And I just want to let everyone know that Roseanne is not leaving the Environmental Commission. She's still with me. She's not retiring from that. So we're going to have more time and more exciting things to do. But these are flowers from the Commission and Green Team. Thank you so much for everything. Happy holidays. And the other thing I would like to, everyone made comments about me about the flowers, but I'm going to give the mayor our plaque. It's our silver certification for sustainable Jersey that we received down at the League. And it's really for all of us. It's for the town and our recognition for silver for the next 3 years. And we'll work on the gold standards next year, but we're having a lot of fun and making a better community proud. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you all very much. As long as I'm standing, I have a appointment by the mayor of the Court Administrator, Municipal Court of the Borough of Hawthorne, by the virtue and power and authority vested in me as Mayor of the Borough of Hawthorne, I hereby appoint Erica Will as the Court Administrator to fill an unexpired term to expire on December 31st, and until her successor shall be appointed and qualified.
So moved.
Hold on a minute.
Motion to record.
This is only till the end of this year?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to record.
So moved.
Made by Lane, seconded by Sinning. Roll call.
Yes, we're swearing her in for a week. Come on, Bubba.
Clear the calendar.
Sinning?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Bertolo?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Nice to know you left your job for 1 week job tonight. We're going to ask Dad to hold the Bible for you. But ask you to place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Erica Will,
I, Erica Will,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey.
and I'll bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and will perform the duties of
and will perform the duties of
Court Administrator
Court Administrator
of the Borough of Hawthorne,
of the Borough of Hawthorne,
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly,
and justly,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
Welcome to the borough.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Hope it's longer than I saw.
You know?
We have to go through this in January. Yeah, give her a week.
Well, more than a week, all right. That was quick.
We are sorely missing a court administrator, and we're so excited that Erica's starting on Tuesday, and hope her 4 days goes well here, and the nice part is she doesn't accrue any vacation for her first year. At this point, I call upon my borough attorney, Michael Pasquale, for his report.
Saying goodbye to the Foxes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Greg.
On the affordable housing front, as you know, the Supreme Court heard argument with regard to the issue on the gap years at the end of November. It is yet to issue its decision, so we continue to wait. In Hawthorne, we were to appear before Judge Brogan this week. The matter was adjourned and relisted for the middle of January. By that point, we expect to hear from the Supreme Court, and also we're continuing to work with the developer of 204 Wagra to see if we can come to a settlement of all issues. Very excited about something on your agenda this evening, and that is the settlement of 77 separate tax appeal cases representing 12 properties filed over a 7-year period. It's really a rather monumental settlement. It's with regard to the properties owned by Richard Thomas with PRT Realty. Mr. Thomas owns properties on both sides of Wagra Road. He has, really is one of our largest landowners, and he's made a substantial commitment in our community. He is, the settlement involves a refund of $92,000 in taxes that he's paid. But if you keep in mind the fact that he has buildings that are assessed at $5.5 million, which means the actual value is about $11 million, and he's paid $2.1 million in taxes over that period. $92,000 doesn't really seem like an excessively large amount. The best thing about this settlement is that while we refunded money for earlier years in 2010 and 11, the tax assessment going into 2017 is only $20,000 less than the assessment of the properties now. It goes from $5.5 million to $5.48 million. So it's really a very favorable deal in that regard. The Fisk Alloy property is not part of this settlement. We are still negotiating that issue. Should have that wrapped up next week. The Fisk building alone is worth $4 million on an assessed basis. They added 16,000 square feet of new space. So there's an added and omitted assessment that's coming. We will gain back a portion of the monies we're refunding tonight from that property. And overall, we expect to see probably a $500,000 increase in our rateable base from that property. So this is all very good news, and we should be bringing it. I want to thank Tim Henderson, Bob McNerney for their help and their hard work, and Mr. Thomas particularly, and his attorney Dan Keogh for approaching this very professionally. And it's a fair settlement. Whenever we settle with our taxpayers, they're not our adversaries, they're our residents and our taxpayers. So we want to strike deals that are fair to both sides. I strongly recommend the settlement to you, and I think it's a very good settlement for the people of Hawthorne. Last meeting, we spent an awful lot of time, for no good reason, talking about 55 West of Belt Avenue. After the meeting, I called the attorney who represents Mr. Gorga, saying, what's the status of the closing? And he said, didn't Mr. Gorga tell you? I said, no. He said he bought the property in early November. So Mr. Gorga did, in fact, close title to a 6-family house in early November. He wanted to call me personally and tell me, so his attorney didn't do so. And it turns out there was much ado about nothing on our ends. So he owns the property. He still has to put on what's called affordability controls, which we are working on now, and so we will get those in place. But the good news is, whereas before we were looking at what we can only call draconian kind of measures to gain compliance, he now owns the property, and control of the property is the most vital step, obviously, in affordable housing. So good news comes there, and Mr. Gorga is fulfilling his promise there.
Does he realize he made Linda Mizzanelli waste an entire column by not calling him?
Well, in fairness, we learned about this the very next day. That column was printed, what, a week and a half later. So it could have, it was a simple solution to it.
So what time
Slow
frame,
news week.
what
Yeah,
time
apparently.
frame did he give you for dedication of it as affordable?
I don't know that yet, because that's a process. That's going to take several months to gain the paperwork, put it in place, agree on the language of it, and there's also existing tenants in the property, so it's not an easy process, but we will get that in place. I can't give you a time frame right now, Frank. He's going to be working with separate counsel on that. The attorney who did the real estate closing is a very good real estate attorney who said there's not a chance in the world I'm touching affordability controls, and I said, no, I don't blame you. He was working with an attorney named Brian Chakasky, who's an excellent land use lawyer, and I'm hoping he'll go back to Brian, and we can wrap this thing up in a few months. But, the most important thing is if you look at it from our affordable housing obligation, you couldn't really consider a property until the owner demonstrated control over it. He's now demonstrated control, so therefore the affordability is the part that comes much easier. So this is good news for us. Other than that, I want to welcome Erica and, of course, congratulate our, she's gone to Roseanne left before my report.
You cleared the room, basically.
Want to congratulate Roseanne.
Usually
She's
that's my
an
job.
amazing administrator and teacher. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you, Michael. I now call upon Borough Engineers, Dr. Stephen T. Boswell, for his report.
Thank you, Mayor. John, report on the DPW building, the 2016 road program. The asphalt corrective measures will be done by Friday. The concrete and striping will be done on McKinley in the spring, just because of the temperatures. Brain Avenue is completed, done, closed out. The well contamination down at Southfield, we've taken split samples on influent and effluent. I've sent them to 2 different labs, and now we're going to compare the results. Although we found some old information, actually Eric found it, that a long time ago, UTC said there was some nitrobenzene in that water. So this may, but the thing is, we're not getting it on the influent side either. So we'll see where all that ends up. Streetscape, the inspection firm is going to contact Eric after the year to set up a pre-construction meeting. Now it's all been approved. The water system generator, the generator at Mary Street has been put up there. Now the only thing that's left to be done is the final connections and the gas line. Public Service has done the mark out. They're supposed to saw cut the street by the end of this week, run the new gas service in, and then it should all be hooked up after that. Prescott Avenue, unfortunately, we were rejected by the NJDOT discretionary aid, so the mayor has given it back to Capital Alternatives to see if they can get us that money. It's a good project. The mayor asked me, one of the questions he had was, we never get rejected. Well, that's because Passaic County is an entitled county, meaning that every town gets one street. So we always apply for one street. This is now applying for a second street. This one wasn't under the entitles. This is competitive. So but we think it's a good project and it should be approved. The Passaic Avenue sewer lining is completed. It was done actually yesterday. The Rock Road improvements, we're setting up the pre-construction meeting. The voucher is already in to get the borough 75% of the money. There's still been no application to the State Historic Preservation Office on the soccer field down in Gothenburg Park. We are monitoring it. There's just been no application yet. The GPS and GIS services, I think Bruce probably is checking on his phone to see where we're upgraded, but all of the main roads, all the roads except the main roads where we need traffic control have been completed, and Bob Scully is going to provide a flagman so we can go out and complete those roads as well, which should be done within a couple of weeks. The zoning map, the new zoning map's completed. I believe the copies are in the office. And finally, we prepared the preliminary specification for the new municipal message board. Eric's going to review that, and we just want to make sure about the electric connection, where we're going to bring it in from, and that'll be ready to go out to bid probably after the next meeting. Other than that, Mayor, I'll answer questions.
Thank you, Steve. I now call upon my borough administrator for undoubtedly great news.
Well, my report will be very short because pretty much everything I was going to report on has been touched upon. I also want to welcome Erica to Hawthorne and congratulate Roseanne on and wish her best.
Actually, the great news was your report was going to be short tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty great. You know, just to add on to the issue with the leaf collections, we are late. We apologize for that. We've been had equipment failures, manpower issues. We'll be prioritizing streets where parking is at a premium to get to get those addressed as early as possible. the equipment failures and manpower issues, those are explanation. I'm not going to offer it as an excuse. We put out a schedule. We need to try to make that schedule, and we didn't this year. So just to add on about the tax appeals that Michael reported on. We did a reserve for tax appeals as part of our budgetary process, so this isn't going to hurt us in terms of surplus, whatever. We've made provision for it, and we've been operating within the budget that we've set forth for that, and so that won't hurt us going forward, particularly since the assessments themselves are not down appreciably from where they were. Beyond that, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays to all.
Thank you, Eric. Council President will be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, John, we'll start down your end.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Bruce? Frank?
Eric, I sent you an email regarding a resident on Cornell Ave. You had two issues. One was speeding, and one was the sound barriers. Did you forward that off to the police chief as well as our state DOT contact? If not, could you follow up?
Yeah, okay.
Double check if you did.
I believe the police did get the complaint.
I never looked at that. I mean, I can tell you the chances
watching,
of getting sound barriers are going to be
I know
slim
that, and
and
you know
none.
that, but I'm doing my duty to bring it along.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Gary?
Mike, I'm assuming that house that they bought is fully occupied now, right?
It is.
Now, if those people, they will have to qualify, right? If you don't qualify financially, will they have to move out and move different people in?
That's the tricky part of it, because we're assuming that the people who live there now will qualify. Most of the housing, as I understand, it's mostly Section 8 housing there now, which is good, that qualifies. But again, they will have to qualify, and so it does become a difficult issue. There may be some time to lag people in and out, but it's not an easy process when you're buying an already occupied property.
And all 6 units will be affordable?
All 6 will be affordable. That satisfies his entire obligation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to record the administrative agenda. Made by Bennett, seconded by Matthews. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There are no ordinances this evening for introduction. Resolutions, consent agenda, MR 0816, R 23816 through R 24716. Excuse me. MR 0816, oppose the global boycott of Israel. R 23816, Borough of Hawthorne payroll dated December 9, 2016. R 23916, refund from county appeals reduction. R 24016, interfund transfers. R 24116, cancel outdated checks. R 24216, cancel grant balances. R 24316, cancel improvement authorizations. R 24416, change order for SCADA upgrades. R 24516, sale of brine to Passaic County. R 24616, sale of brine to Ridgewood. R 24716, tax appeal settlements. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Made by Matthews, seconded by Sinning. Any discussion?
Yes, John.
Go ahead, John.
Eric, on 24516 and on 24616, there's nothing in the resolution regarding a dollar amount. There's nothing in my packet regarding the shared service agreement. How am I supposed to vote on this if I don't know what we're voting on except verbiage?
The agreements are the same as last year, except that for the Passaic County, we've increased the amount for application of the brine by 2% since our wages and so forth increased this year. And the actual brine, which is the salt, which is a big part of making the brine, has actually reduced in the costs that we're paying. So we have basically a somewhat larger margin for help pay for our equipment costs.
Well, it doesn't say it in here, and I was wondering why we don't, with this, because we have 2 resolutions, why don't we get a copy of the shared service agreement again with the new figures so we know exactly what the dollar amount is?
I apologize for that. So,
Any other questions? Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Lane,
No.
Matthews,
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Sinning?
Yes.
Rotolo?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Off consent agenda, R24816, budget transfers.
So moved.
Made by Matthews. I
Second.
need a second. Second by Sinning. Any discussion? Roll call.
Sinning?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Rotolo?
Yes.
Motion carries.
R24916, Boswell Engineering Services for tax map updates. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Made by Lane, second by Mealy. Any discussion? Roll call.
Bennett?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Sinning?
Yes.
Rotolo?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Reports of special council committees. Gary?
Yeah, the ordinance committee met last week there. We will have a number of ordinance, we'll be starting to introduce them through the first couple of meetings in January and going into February. We have 4 or 5 new ordinances that we will be introducing.
Frank?
The Chamber of Commerce would like to invite everyone to join us at the annual Company of the Year dinner. This year's honoree is the Hawthorne Boys and Girls Club. It's Friday, January 27th at 6:30 p.m. at Macaluso's. If you'd like to join, please contact Meg at the Chamber, and the cost per ticket is $60. Finance, obviously, we did all the transfers, and that concludes my reports.
Okay. Bruce?
Nothing to report.
Dominic?
Nope, wait, nothing.
John?
Yes, under Board of Health, I know it's a little late, but we don't have meetings every month. The annual flu clinic, which was held in September, we had 66 participants, which I think was very good. Also on the same day, Met Labs Diagnostics were here for blood draws for the residents in surrounding towns. And there was 20 people attended that. So, there are people that are looking out for their good health, and we'll continue to have these clinics for all of the residents in town. Thank you.
Okay. Correspondence, C1, approval of firefighter Kyle Johnson, Rescue 5 to the New Jersey State Firemen's Association. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Made by Bennett, seconded by Sinning. Roll call.
Sinning?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Lane?
Abstain?
Bennett?
Yes.
Rotolo?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Bills, motion to approve the bills and forward them to the treasurer for payment.
So moved.
Made by Mealy.
Second.
Seconded by Sinning. Any discussion? Roll call.
Bennett?
Yes.
Lane?
Abstain on the fire department and the ambulance corps, yes on all others.
Matthews?
Yes on all of them.
Mealy?
Yes, on all of them.
Sinning?
Yes.
Rotolo?
Abstain on down street service, yes on all others. Public comment, I will now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, please raise your hand to be recognized. Come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Sir? Yeah, come up to the podium, please.
Hi, I'm Michael Cohen. This will be my address for the record.
Name it and your address. Need your address?
Huguenot Avenue, Englewood, New Jersey.
Okay. Could you do me a favor? Could you just turn the microphone so they can pick it up? Thank you.
Sure.
No problem.
I come here tonight representing the Simon Wiesenthal Center. It's an organization that we have 400,000 members around the country, 150,000 in New York and New Jersey. And I really wanted to come and thank Mayor Goldberg and all the council for putting the anti-BDS resolution on the agenda tonight and for passing it. The way this whole resolution started, in a sense, New York City was the first municipality to pass it about 2 months ago after 15 states took action, including New Jersey in a similar way. I was one of the individuals who was asked to testify in that New York hearing, and we ended up hearing as we trying to testify, and I say trying to, because we were shouted down with folks yelling at us, "You Jewish pigs, get out of here," and things of that nature. And much worse, which I wouldn't want to put on the public record. It was the kind of feeling that you thought you were possibly in 1940s Europe as opposed to 2016 New York City Council. And one of the members of the council was asked, why are we putting on this on the agenda in the first place? And their answer was, if you see what this movement is, the BDS movement, and how anti-Semitic it is, and what it's bringing out here tonight at that hearing, you'll see why it's important for all of us to stand up against discrimination of all sorts, against this hatred of all sorts, and against anti-Semitism. So, the Simon Wiesenthal Center, and I'm also a city councilman in Englewood. We ended up passing the same resolution in Englewood to stand up in that same way, And since then, we've had about a dozen towns in the last 6 or 7 weeks who have passed the same resolution, like yourselves tonight. And I just wanted to really come here tonight and thank you for joining us in that effort and for being a part of that. It is critical, it is very meaningful, and I really wanted to also thank the mayor for all of his assistance in bringing this to the agenda, bringing this to your attention. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Anyone else wish to be heard? Seeing no one, I entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting. So moved. Made by Matthews, seconded by Bennett. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Made by Matthews, seconded by Lane. Before we adjourn, I'd just like to take a moment on behalf of the council and the mayor and all, here tonight, I guess, to wish all our employees, our borough residents, and everybody a healthy and happy holiday season and a happy new year, and we'll see you all on January 4th for the reorganization meeting. All those in favor of adjournment? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. As I said, the next regular meeting of the municipal council is Wednesday, January 4th, 2017 at 7 p.m. We are adjourned.